Chosen one. This is the moment heaven has been waiting for. At 3:33 a.m., while the world was asleep, something holy moved through the veil. Light touched your name. The air shifted. You felt it, a pulse, a stillness, a sudden knowing that something beyond human logic was calling you. That was not imagination. That was your awakening. You have been sensing this for a long time. Every strange stirring in your chest, every whisper you could not explain, every number that kept repeating itself, it all led here. Heaven has been aligning circumstances to get your attention. And tonight, you finally looked up. This is divine timing, not coincidence. For years, you've walked through shadows, feeling both invisible and watched. You've endured rejection, confusion, and silence, wondering if anyone truly saw you. But every sleepless night was sacred preparation. Every unanswered prayer was God positioning you for purpose. You are not behind schedule. You are right on heaven's clock. As recorded in the book of Psalms, chapter 119, verse 62. At midnight I rise to give you thanks for your righteous laws. Even in the deepest hours of the night, your spirit has been rising, giving thanks without words. You didn't know it, but you were responding to heaven's call long before you could understand it. That's why you woke at 3:33 a.m., the hour when divine alignment whispers your name. You have carried a light that darkness could not comprehend. That is why the warfare intensified. The enemy knew who you were before you did. The pressure you faced was never punishment. It was recognition. Hell attacks what heaven anoints. And now, the moment has come for your anointing to be revealed. Chosen one. There is power moving through your timeline right now. The angels that spoke your name at 3:33 a.m. are still near, standing guard around your destiny. They have begun to rearrange things, connections, opportunities, even obstacles to bring you into alignment with what was written about you. Everything that once resisted your progress is beginning to yield. You may not see it yet, but the shift has already begun. The quiet stirring you feel is the sound of heaven turning the page of your story. You are stepping out of delay and into acceleration. The confusion is lifting, clarity is coming, and peace is replacing the noise. Remember this: when heaven calls your name, nothing on earth can silence it. You will start to notice confirmation's doors opening where they were once sealed. People crossing your path who carry pieces of your assignment. Dreams that echo what you're reading now. These are not random. They are the language of destiny. There will be moments when you feel the old fear trying to pull you back, but stand firm. The same voice that called you out at 3:33 a.m. will sustain you in daylight. Heaven does not start what it cannot finish. You are not alone in this awakening. The very presence that woke you now walks beside you. This is not about superstition or numbers. It is about recognition. 3:33 is the sound of divine order, the Trinity moving in perfect unity to signal, it is time. The Father has approved your release. The Son has covered your past. The Spirit has awakened your purpose. That's why you feel alive again. Sans rise. Chosen one. Step into this hour with reverence and courage. Speak less fear and more faith. Let gratitude be your anthem. Lift your head, because heaven has turned its gaze toward you. The angels that spoke your name are not finished. They are waiting for your response. If this message stirs your spirit, acknowledge it. Like this message. Share it, so another who has been waiting for confirmation may awaken too. Comment 333 below as your seal of agreement, your sign that you hear the call, and you choose to answer. And subscribe to remain under this flow of divine messages that are shaping your future. Your midnight has become morning. The whisper at 3:33 a.m. was heaven's declaration. Your destiny is shifting now. The heavens are recording your yes, sealing your obedience in light. Every breath from now on carries divine momentum. You are stepping into a timeline written by God Himself. The angels who spoke your name are rejoicing. What was once hidden is now revealed. The shift cannot be undone. The heavens have already confirmed your transformation. Walk forward with unwavering faith. You are no longer waiting for destiny. You are living it. The hour of 3:33 marked your rebirth. And your story has only just begun. When the light pierced the silence at 3:33 a.m., it was not a passing flicker. It was a divine interruption. The realm of heaven does not knock gently when destiny is at stake. It steps into time with purpose. That night, you weren't just waking from sleep. You were being summoned. Your name was spoken in frequencies beyond human hearing, resonating in the corridors of eternity. And when you stirred, it was because your spirit recognized the call. The world calls it coincidence, but the truth runs deeper. You were interrupted by heaven itself. Something eternal reached into your ordinary life, cutting through the noise of routine, the dull ache of waiting, the fog of uncertainty, to say, "You are seen." That's what the interruption was, divine recognition. You've spent seasons walking through confusion, feeling as though life was passing you by. But heaven doesn't lose track of its own. Even when you felt forgotten, your name remained on the lips of angels. There were moments you questioned your worth, moments when your own thoughts became loud enough to drown out your prayers. Yet, in those very moments, God was crafting a turning point. The silence you feared wasn't abandonment, it was incubation. When the clock struck 3:33, everything hidden began to move. The veil between dimensions grew thin enough for light to slip through. And in that instant, your spirit answered without words. You didn't need to speak. Heaven already knew the language of your tears. As Jesus Himself declared in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 10, verse 27, "What I tell you in the dark, speak in the daylight. What is whispered in your ear, proclaim from the roofs." That whisper at 3:33 was not just for comfort, it was instruction. You are being prepared to speak light into dark places, to become the echo of that divine whisper for others who have not yet awakened. In that hour, heaven revealed something crucial. Interruptions are invitations. You were not disturbed. You were invited into a divine dialogue. Everything that happened that night, the surge of energy, the awareness, the tears that followed, was the evidence of God drawing near. You may have felt small, but heaven saw a warrior rising. You see, God often interrupts before He elevates. Before He sends you forward, He shakes what's unstable. The call at 3:33 was a shaking, breaking the rhythm of old cycles so that new alignment could begin. It was the sound of divine order rearranging your reality. What once made sense may now feel foreign, because you are no longer walking by sight. You've stepped into the frequency of obedience. Every divine interruption demands a response. Heaven has already spoken. Now it waits for your movement. You will feel subtle shifts, sudden peace, where anxiety once ruled. Acquiescent authority, replacing hesitation. Discernment, sharpening like a blade. These are not random changes. They are the first fruits of alignment. Do not try to return to normal. Normal ended when heaven interrupted your night. From this point on, you are operating under new timing. What once drained you will now release you. What once seemed impossible will begin to unfold. The same God who called your name at 3:33 is guiding every step that follows. The enemy would love for you to dismiss it, to convince you it was only coincidence, only sleeplessness, only imagination. But your spirit knows better. You cannot unhear what your soul recognized. That's why you can't shake the memory of that hour. It was a covenant moment, a divine interception of your ordinary path. Remember this, heaven interrupts only when destiny demands it. That means your life carries weight beyond what you've imagined. The call you heard is not just for personal comfort, it's a commissioning. There are people whose deliverance will begin when you walk in obedience. There are places waiting for your presence. There are assignments already unfolding, written long before you arrived here. You are stepping into a story that was paused until your yes reached heaven. This is why time seems to move differently now. Days blur. Ideas flood your mind. Old désir fade, replaced by divine purpose. You are being rewired for a higher mission. So when you think back to that moment at 3:33, don't see it as strange, see it as sacred. It was heaven's interruption of your timeline. Heaven's declaration that delay has expired. You were called out of the ordinary, invited into the extraordinary. That is what divine interruption feels like. Unsettling, consuming, holy. The world around you may look the same, but within, something eternal has shifted. You are walking through the aftershock of a divine encounter. Every breath you take now carries traces of that light. And as you move forward, you'll find that heaven's interruptions never end. They simply evolve into assignments. There are weights you've carried that no one has seen. Smiles that hid exhaustion. Faith that trembled under the pressure of waiting. Prayers whispered through clenched teeth when your heart was breaking. Yet, even in silence, heaven listened. The pain that you thought would destroy you became the very soil in which your strength grew. You didn't realize it then, but your suffering was sacred training. When the angels spoke your name at 3:33 a.m., they didn't just call your destiny forward, they acknowledged what you survived. Every scar became a signature of endurance, proof that you refused to quit when others would have surrendered. The world saw wounds, but heaven saw weapons. Those tears weren't wasted, they were written into your anointing. According to what is revealed in the book of Romans, chapter 8, verse 18, I consider that our present sufferings are not worth comparing with the glory that will be revealed in us. The weight you've carried is nothing compared to the glory now stirring within you. It's not over, it's only beginning. There are people who never understood you, who questioned your intensity, who couldn't grasp why you felt things so deeply. But that sensitivity is your gift. It allows you to sense what others ignore, to perceive spiritual movements before they manifest. You weren't meant to blend in, you were meant to disrupt darkness. You are heaven's reminder that light still speaks. The nights you thought were breaking you were actually building you. The moments you called endings were heaven's way of making space for something greater. You have been refined through fire, and that refining has revealed what is indestructible in you. When others gave up, you endured. When your voice shook, you still prayed. When the world turned its back, you faced the heavens and whispered, "Still, I believe." That whisper was heard. Now, heaven is turning your pain into prophecy. The same areas where you bled will become the places where you bless others. The same emotions that once crushed you will become the empathy that heals many. Your story is about to shift from survival to significance. This is why your spirit feels heavier lately. It's the weight of transformation. You may have asked, "Why me? Why so much pain? Why so many losses?" The answer is simple. God trusted you with the battle because He knew you would not bow to it. You've carried what others couldn't. The depth of your struggle is equal to the height of your calling. When heaven chooses a vessel, it doesn't look for perfection, it looks for endurance. And you, chosen one, have endured. You've faced rejection, betrayal, and emptiness, and yet, here you are, still believing, still listening, still reading. That is not weakness, that is power. That is the evidence that something divine has been preserving you. The time of hiding is closing. The shadows that once surrounded you are giving way to light. You will soon understand why certain people left, why doors closed, and why silence lasted so long. God was making sure that when your name was spoken at 3:33, it would echo through clean space, no distractions, no counterfeit alliances, only destiny. This is your moment to breathe in grace and exhale regret. The burdens that once defined you will soon become testimonies of strength. Heaven is not asking you to understand everything. It's asking you to trust that the pain had purpose. Now, pause. Feel the quiet shift happening inside you. That warmth spreading through your chest is not emotion, it's recognition. Your spirit knows that this message is truth. You are standing at the threshold of your becoming. Comment, "I rise again." Endvan, write those words below as your declaration, not as a reaction. When you type them, you align your voice with heaven's narrative. You are not just repeating a phrase, you are agreeing with your future, prophesying your own restoration. Heaven responds to faith in action. When you say, "I rise again," you mark the end of mourning and the beginning of mission. You have carried hidden weight long enough. The breaking point was never the end, it was the birth of divine strength. Your scars are no longer symbols of loss, they are proof of victory. Heaven has recorded every tear. And now, joy is being released in return. Stand tall. Lift your eyes. The same God who watched you cry in silence is now sending angels to walk beside you. You will rise, not once, but continually, until every chain that ever bound you becomes a memory of triumph. Long before you ever understood the meaning of the word chosen, heaven had already placed a mark upon your life. It wasn't visible to the eye, yet it spoke through every part of your journey. The mark of the chosen is not found in comfort, but in contrast, how you never quite fit where you tried to belong. How every room you entered seemed to notice something different about you. Even when you said nothing, that difference has followed you since childhood. There were moments when you felt invisible, yet people's eyes would turn to you at random, as if something unseen whispered your presence. You could walk into silence, and suddenly emotions in the room would shift. That was not coincidence. You carry a divine frequency. Heaven placed its imprint on your spirit, and it has been speaking louder with every passing year. The mark of the chosen cannot be hidden. It calls attention without effort, draws resistance without provocation, and attracts both favor and warfare. You were never meant to blend in because you were born as a sign. Every chosen soul becomes a mirror, reflecting heaven's light in a world that fears exposure. That's why some misunderstood you. Light always reveals what darkness tries to keep unseen. As the prophet wrote in the scroll of Ezekiel, chapter 9, verse 4, "Go throughout the city of Jerusalem and put a mark on the foreheads of those who grieve and lament over all the detestable things that are done in it." The mark has always been the sign of those whose hearts break for what breaks God's heart. You've carried compassion deeper than reason, empathy that sometimes felt unbearable, sorrow for pain that wasn't even yours. That is evidence of the mark, the ache of those appointed to stand between heaven and earth. You were marked not because you were perfect, but because you were willing. When others turned away from conviction, you stayed. When others silenced their conscience, you listened. That sensitivity the world mocked in you was actually heaven's signature. It made you aware of unseen things, capable of hearing what others ignore. It is why the angelic world takes notice when you pray. Your words carry registration in spiritual places. Being marked also means being misunderstood. Those who cannot recognize anointing often mistake it for arrogance. They see the confidence of destiny and call it pride. They sense your spiritual weight and call it intimidation. But heaven knows the truth. You were not sent to please people. You were sent to awaken them. Every rejection you faced was a classroom teaching you separation. The chosen must be set apart before they are sent forth. Sometimes that separation felt cruel. You watched others connect easily, while you remained on the edge, wondering what was wrong with you. But nothing was wrong. Everything was intentional. Heaven was guarding your purity of purpose. Some alliances could have poisoned your path. Some friendships would have diluted your focus. So heaven blocked them, not as punishment, but as preservation. And now, after years of feeling displaced, the mark is beginning to make sense. The very qualities that once caused isolation are the same ones preparing you for leadership. The difference that made you feel small will now become your distinction. You will speak, and atmospheres will shift, not because of volume, but because of authority. Authority is the natural language of the marked. Do not despise your difference anymore. It is sacred. It is your proof of assignment. Every chosen one carries a visible trace of invisible belonging. When people encounter you and cannot explain what they feel, that is the mark in motion. Heaven's ownership speaks through you. Even in silence, the mark will not protect you from trials, but it will ensure you are never defeated by them. It shields purpose, not comfort. That is why some storms were allowed to touch your surroundings but never consume you. Grace stood guard. Every loss you thought would end, you only revealed how deeply you are sealed. Look at your life closely. There were times you nearly gave up, but something unseen always pulled you back. That was the mark, reminding hell that you are not theirs to claim. The bloodline of heaven covers you. You have been sealed for divine use, and the time of unveiling draws near. So, walk with quiet confidence. You no longer need to prove your worth or explain your difference. The mark of the chosen is your testimony, your armor, your authority. What heaven has placed on you cannot be erased by man. Time, or circumstance. You are evidence that purpose can survive anything. Something invisible has begun to move in your life. The delay that once felt endless has cracked, and light is leaking through the places that were once sealed. This is the breaking of delay, the moment when time itself begins to yield to divine instruction. For years, your progress felt locked. Your prayers seemed to echo against walls. But heaven has whispered, "Enough." When the angels spoke your name at 3:33 a.m., that was the sound of a gate opening. Every "not yet" is turning into "now." The forces that once resisted you are losing their grip because divine timing has been activated. What was stagnant is beginning to flow again. You may not notice it instantly, but in the spirit, everything has shifted, like rivers beneath frozen ice. Purpose has been moving quietly, waiting for this thaw. And now, the ice is breaking. You are stepping into a season where things that once took years will unfold in days. You will look back and realize the waiting was not wasted. It was the womb of transformation. The Word of God declares in the book of Isaiah, chapter 60, verse 22, "When the time is right, I, the Lord, will make it happen." You are living in that verse right now. The time is right. The divine clock has struck its appointed hour, and nothing can delay what heaven has decreed. But when breakthrough begins, it comes with motion. It invites response. Heaven moves, and earth echoes. That echo is faith made visible, small acts of agreement, simple choices that say, "I believe this is my season." Sometimes it's sharing the word that woke you up. Sometimes it's lifting your voice so another heart can find light. Every echo counts. So if this message has stirred something deep in you, if you feel that quiet yes in your chest, let it breathe. Click the heart or like this message as if you were lighting a candle in the night. Each click is another spark that keeps the flame alive. Share this message like someone passing a lantern down a dark road. You never know whose trembling hands might catch that glow and find their way home again. Subscribe, not out of habit, but as one who builds an altar of remembrance. Every new word that reaches you is another stone in that altar. Another reminder that God still speaks at 3:33. And for those who feel the whisper to give, listen closely. Donating is not a purchase. It is the gentle act of pouring oil into the lamp so its light never fades. You are not paying for revelation. You are feeding the flame that once found you in darkness. Your giving becomes part of the miracle. It keeps the message reaching those who are still searching for hope at midnight. There is no pressure, no demand. Let it be pure and quiet. The way a river moves without asking permission. If your heart stirs, pour back as you have been poured into. Let your generosity flow like living water, unseen yet unstoppable. In every age, the chosen have sustained the message. They carried light through caves, deserts, and storms, keeping the word alive when the world grew dark. You are part of that lineage now. Your faith, your kindness, your willingness to share and sustain, it all becomes the continuation of that story. Remember, delay is breaking not only for you, but through you. Every act of generosity, every echo of belief, multiplies that breakthrough into the lives of others. You become the proof that divine timing is real, that heaven's whispers still change earthly timelines. Let gratitude lead your next step. Lift your eyes and realize how far you've already come. What you thought was stillness was actually preparation. What you called waiting was actually the building of wings. And now, you are soaring. The delay is over. The wind is rising beneath you, and the sky is clear. Heaven has not forgotten the seeds you've sown in prayer, in patience, in kindness. Every seed is finding soil now. Every promise is breaking ground. You are walking into answered prayers that have been waiting for your arrival. So, breathe deeply. The season of stillness has served its purpose. Light, share, subscribe, or give only as love leads you. You are in motion again, not because you forced it, but because heaven has released it. The gate stands open, and the journey continues. The night that once silenced you now sings with promise. Every breath you take releases light. Every step you make fulfills what heaven began. Walk gently but boldly. The wind that carries your name also carries your purpose. Nothing can stop what has already been spoken. There is a pattern to heaven's language. Nothing appears by chance. When the angels called your name at 3:33 a.m., it was not only a sound, it was a sequence, a code of divine alignment. The heavens communicate through numbers, movements, and timings that reflect the perfection of God's order. And lately, that order has begun to surround you in ways you can no longer dismiss. Everywhere you look, signs repeat. You see patterns that stir your spirit certain hours, phrases, or encounters that seem orchestrated. These are not coincidences. They are confirmations. Heaven is drawing your attention to something unfolding behind the curtain of the visible. The same voice that whispered at 3:33 now speaks in new ways. Through symbols, you are learning to interpret. Each repetition is a rhythm. It tells you that heaven is counting your steps, that divine timing has not missed a beat. What once felt delayed is simply synchronizing. Your life is being brought into prophetic alignment. The right people, the right doors, the right moments, all being arranged by unseen hands. Heaven speaks again through the writings of Solomon in the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 3, verse 1. To everything there is a season, and a time to every purpose under heaven. The patterns you see are heaven's reminder that your purpose is now in season. The delay was not denial, it was calibration. God was tuning your heart to match his rhythm so that when the moment arrived, you would be ready to move without fear. Now the air around you feels charged. You sense the divine pulse under ordinary things, the way light falls through your window, the way a song finds you when you least expect it, the way peace suddenly settles after days of confusion. These are signals that heaven's frequency is near. You are aligning, but alignment requires awareness. Heaven can open doors, but you must choose to walk through them. The sign does not replace your obedience, it directs it. You have been given eyes to see and ears to hear. But revelation is fulfilled only when you respond. Every time you act in faith, the rhythm grows louder, clearer, stronger. You may have wondered why certain things suddenly feel uncomfortable, places you used to enjoy, people you once connected with, patterns that no longer fit. That discomfort is divine realignment. God is moving you from circles that drain your fire into spaces that multiply it. When heaven shifts your coordinates, it often starts with restlessness. Don't fight it, follow it. Chosen one. This is a holy calibration. You are being positioned for encounters that will define your next chapter. When heaven counts, it counts perfectly, no step misplaced, no second wasted. The same sequence that awakened you at 3:33 continues to echo, reminding you that divine alignment never ends, it expands. In these coming days, watch for repetition that feels sacred. Watch for confirmations that arrive twice or thrice, for moments that whisper, "This is it." Heaven often speaks softly, so that only the listening heart will catch the meaning. Do not dismiss the small nudges. They are the hinges on which large doors turn. When you notice these patterns, don't rush to interpret them with logic. Let your spirit translate before your mind intervenes. Divine messages are not puzzles to solve, they are invitations to trust. The more you acknowledge them, the more heaven will reveal. Revelation grows in the soil of attention. Now pause for a moment. Reflect on the ways heaven has been speaking to you lately, the coincidences too perfect to ignore, the timing too precise to explain. These are not random. You are being spoken to through the very fabric of time. Comment the number 555 below. 5 is the number of divine grace, of change that carries heaven's breath within it. When you write it, do it as a living declaration that you welcome transformation. You are not typing digits, you are agreeing with the movement of God's hand upon your timeline. 555 is the mark of transition, one season closing, another opening. It represents divine grace multiplied, the favor that not only finds you, but lifts you. When you comment 555, it is your spiritual yes, your acknowledgement that you see the alignment and surrender to it fully. For what heaven began at 3:33 was not meant to end in a whisper, it was the overture to a new movement. The rhythm continues, and you are part of its melody. Every heartbeat, every prayer, every act of faith keeps the song alive. Stay sensitive to that rhythm. Let your awareness become worship. The same God who counted the stars counts your steps. And when your path beats in harmony with His, nothing on earth can delay what He has designed. The moment you awaken to destiny, darkness takes notice. Every light that rises sends a tremor through unseen realms, and every whisper of obedience stirs resistance. The battle in the unseen does not begin when you fail. It begins when you decide to walk in purpose. What you have been feeling lately, the weight, the pressure, the fatigue that seems unexplainable, is not random. It is the aftershock of heaven's movement in your life. When the angels spoke your name at 3:33 a.m., hell heard it too. The sound of your awakening shook what once claimed authority over your peace. That's why the warfare increased when revelation came. But do not mistake warfare for abandonment. Conflict is confirmation that your light has grown strong enough to threaten darkness. There are forces that hoped you would stay asleep, that your faith would remain contained within silence. Yet every time you chose to believe again, even after disappointment, the walls of resistance weakened. You have no idea how many unseen victories you have already won. Each time you forgave, when you could have retaliated, light advanced. Every time you prayed, when despair tried to silence you, angels moved closer. Heaven does not measure victory by noise, but by endurance. The quiet persistence of a chosen one terrifies darkness more than any shout. That is why, even now, you are being refined through battle, not to break you, but to strengthen the authority within you. We are reminded through the writings of David in the book of Psalms, chapter 18. Verse 29. With your help, I can advance against a troop. With my God, I can scale a wall. This is the essence of your season. You are scaling walls that once seemed impossible. You are learning that divine power was never about avoiding storms, but standing unshaken within them. You may not see every spiritual skirmish taking place, but heaven has shown you glimpses. The strange heaviness that lingers before breakthrough, the sudden peace that follows intense pressure, these are signs that battles are being won beyond sight. Your name has been mentioned in heavenly places, and angels have been assigned to enforce your progress. Yet, even in victory, you must remain vigilant. The enemy's strategy is not always destruction. Sometimes it's distraction. If darkness can't stop you, it will try to exhaust you. It will whisper doubts, stir confusion, and magnify fear. But you have been given discernment. The same voice that called you at 3:33 still guides you now. Lean into that inner stillness. It is where heaven speaks clearest. Your strength is not in loud confidence, but in quiet awareness. Every time you pause and breathe before reacting, you are choosing heaven's perspective over chaos. That discipline is warfare in its purest form. It disarms darkness by refusing to feed it. You are learning to fight not by force, but by faith. Sometimes the battle will appear internal waves of emotion, sudden weariness, unexpected anxiety. When those moments come, remember, not every storm belongs to you. Many times, you are feeling what is happening around you, not within you. The sensitivity you carry is spiritual radar. It allows you to sense turbulence before others can see it. Don't let it overwhelm you. Let it guide your prayer. The key is endurance. There is no chosen one without scars. Every saint of light bears the marks of battle, not as trophies of suffering, but as symbols of survival. You carry evidence that darkness lost its hold. That is why your story has power. It's written in the language of victory. And in this unfolding season, your awareness of spiritual warfare will not make you fearful. It will make you focused. You are learning to discern the difference between distraction and direction, between pressure and purpose. What once overwhelmed you will soon empower you. Remember this: light never panics. It simply shines. The darker the environment, the brighter the purpose burns. You don't have to chase away shadows, they disappear by default when you step into your identity. Every time you speak truth, every time you choose peace, the atmosphere shifts. So, hold your ground. You were never meant to escape the battle. You were meant to redefine it. You are not a victim of spiritual war. You are its turning point. What once intimidated you now bows to the authority that has awakened within you. And even when you grow weary, remember that heaven's army does not retreat. It surrounds you. Every prayer you've ever prayed stands like a shield before you. You are never fighting alone. The voice that called you at 3:33 has not gone silent. It now commands on your behalf. Stand still. Chosen one. The unseen battle may rage, but victory has already been written. Every clash, every test, every sleepless night is shaping a warrior who knows that peace is not the absence of conflict, it is the mastery of it. There comes a point in every chosen life when the fire is no longer external but internal. You begin to feel it, an invisible heat pressing against every part of who you used to be. This is the refining fire. It doesn't arrive to destroy, it arrives to define. Heaven is not trying to punish you, but to polish you until you reflect its image clearly. Refining is not gentle. It is not soft light and peaceful music. It is the process of burning away everything that dulls the glow within you. It's when prayers seem unanswered, when silence stretches longer than you thought possible, when people misunderstand your intentions, and when the familiar begins to feel foreign. You are not being abandoned, you are being purified. In the early stages, this process feels cruel. You may ask, why does everything I touch break? Why does every door I knock on stay closed? But if you look deeper, you'll see that the fire is selective. It never touches what is essential. It only burns what was never meant to remain. Heaven's fire consumes impurities, not purpose. As the prophet wrote in the book of Zechariah, chapter 13, verse 9, I will put this third into the fire, and refine them as one refines silver, and test them as gold is tested. The fire reveals authenticity. It shows what is real, what is lasting, and what is ready to shine. You are in that process now. Every disappointment, every delay, every strange silence has been part of the purification. God has been teaching you to live without crutches, without needing validation, constant approval, or worldly certainty. When He strips away what once made you comfortable, it's not to leave you empty, but to fill you with something unbreakable. You are learning to separate noise from direction. In the heat of refining, only the pure voice of God remains. Every other sound fades. You begin to recognize the difference between opportunity and distraction, between emotion and discernment, between busyness and purpose. The fire clarifies vision. In this stage, solitude becomes sacred. Heaven often hides you in plain sight, letting others think you've disappeared, when in truth you are being shaped. What looks like isolation is incubation. Seeds don't grow on mountaintops, they grow underground, in darkness, where no one claps. And yet, something inside you is expanding. There will be moments when you think, I can't bear this anymore. But remember, fire does not burn forever. It burns until completion. Once the impurities have fallen away, what remains is brilliance. That is why you feel lighter lately. Even without explanation, you are nearing the moment of emergence, the phase where what God formed in private begins to reveal itself in public. The refining also exposes what was never truly aligned with you. Some relationships, habits, and desires that once felt necessary will begin to dissolve. Don't chase what heaven has released. Let it go with peace. The fire has done its work there. You might notice that your emotions fluctuate: deep peace followed by deep unrest. That's natural. Transformation isn't linear. It's layers peeling away until only essence remains. Heaven doesn't demand perfection. It desires purity. Purity is not flawlessness. It is wholeness. Your heart unfragmented. Your soul undivided. Your purpose unconfused. Through the refining, you begin to realize that pain is not your enemy. It is a messenger. It reveals where you still hold on too tightly, where you still fear letting go. Once you embrace it, pain becomes passage. The fire loses its sting because you start to see its purpose. And gradually, peace returns, not the fragile kind that depends on circumstance, but the deep, anchored kind that burns quietly even in chaos. This peace doesn't shout, it radiates. It tells the world, I've been through fire, and I'm still gold. The refining will end when the reflection becomes clear, when heaven looks upon you and sees its own image staring back. That is when trials cease to wound and begin to testify. You won't have to explain your transformation. Those who see you will know something divine has touched you. You have not lost yourself in the fire, you have found your true form. Every spark that tried to consume you has instead carved out brilliance. This is what heaven intended all along, not to make you comfortable, but to make you capable. Walk forward, luminous and unafraid. The flames that once surrounded you have now become the light within you. You are proof that the fire never destroys what belongs to God, it only reveals it. The silence that follows the fire is not emptiness, it is the voice of God preparing to speak. You've been refined, stripped of noise, and now your spirit is finally still enough to hear instruction. Heaven has been waiting for this precise moment. When your heart no longer chases for signs, but listens for direction, this is where divine dialogue begins. The world around you may seem unchanged, yet everything within you is different. Your discernment has sharpened, your spirit senses when something carries truth and when it's merely distraction. What used to confuse you now feels clear. You've entered the phase where God doesn't shout, He whispers. As written in the first book of Kings, chapter 19, verse 12, "And after the fire came a gentle whisper." That's how God speaks to His chosen ones softly enough that only the surrendered can hear. It is the language of intimacy. Now, pay attention. The wilderness you find yourself in is not punishment, but preparation. You are being trained to hear what others overlook. In the quiet, God begins to release specific instruction. The next step, the next movement, the next door. These directions don't come all at once. They unfold layer by layer, each requiring faith. You are not lost. You are being led. The wilderness is where obedience becomes instinct, where trust replaces sight. You have been asking heaven for clarity, and clarity comes not through explanation, but through presence. God doesn't always answer questions. Sometimes He answers by walking beside you. Every chosen soul must pass through a wilderness. It is the place where the noise of the crowd fades, where every other voice loses its hold. You learn to depend on one sound, only the still, holy whisper that began at 3:33 a.m. That voice is your compass now. It won't always speak in words. Sometimes it comes as knowing, as peace that suddenly replaces doubt, as quiet conviction that cannot be shaken. This is where destiny takes shape. Heaven begins to unfold blueprints for what comes next. You might wake with ideas you've never thought before, sudden inspiration that feels beyond your ability, or divine nudges to move in unfamiliar directions. Don't resist them. These are the early sketches of the mission you were chosen to carry. But God will never force you. Every instruction requires partnership. Heaven does not control, it invites. You are free to accept or decline, but your obedience determines your altitude. The more you listen, the more you'll hear, the more you follow, the more He'll reveal. Revelation grows with movement. In this sacred exchange, your words matter. Speak less complaint and more gratitude. Declare what you believe, even when your surroundings haven't caught up. Words are keys in spiritual realms. They open or close the doors before you. Heaven pays attention to what you release. Speak life. Speak faith. Speak alignment. And when confusion tries to return, Remember what the wilderness taught you. Silence is not the absence of God, it's the space where He speaks most clearly. You are not waiting for a miracle, you are standing inside one. The very fact that you can hear, sense, and feel Heaven's presence means you've already crossed the threshold many never reach. Now, as a prophetic act of agreement, let your heart answer back. Comment, I am listening. Write it not as ritual, but as covenant. When you type those words, you're declaring that you will not move without His direction. You are telling heaven, I am ready for instruction. I am still enough to hear. This isn't superstition, it's surrender. Heaven reads willingness as worship. From this moment, everything shifts. Your ears become instruments of discernment. Your spirit, a receiver of divine transmission. You will begin to recognize God's voice not only in prayer but in nature, in silence, in unexpected conversations. The world becomes a canvas through which heaven speaks. So stay still, but not stagnant. Movement will come soon enough. But for now, listen. There are secrets being spoken in your direction, strategies for victory, protection, and restoration. Heaven trusts you enough to speak them softly. And when you hear the whisper again, don't rush to announce it. Let it grow roots in silence until it becomes unshakable truth. You are not just hearing God, you are learning His rhythm. And soon, your steps will move in perfect sync with His comment. I am listening. And write it with intention, as though your hands echo your heart. These 3 words are not mere text, they are surrender carved into time. When you release them, heaven acknowledges that you've moved from questioning to trusting. You are declaring, speak. Lord, I am awake to your whisper. This act is your spiritual signal flare, reaching beyond screens and distance. It tells the angels still near you, since 3:33, that the vessel is ready, the channel is open, and divine instruction may now flow without resistance. You have walked through fire, through silence, through the wilderness of listening, and now something subtle but undeniable has shifted around you. The air feels lighter. The atmosphere itself bends differently when you enter a room. This is not imagination, it is transformation taking form. Heaven has already announced your shift in the unseen, and now creation begins to echo it. You will notice how old resistance no longer holds power. Conversations that once drained, you will lose their pull. Even the way people respond to your presence will change. You carry a new vibration, the sound of one who has survived refining, who has learned to stand in peace while the world trembles. The shift is not external, it radiates from within you. This is what happens when heaven's rhythm takes residence in a human soul. You become the song itself. Light recognizes light, and darkness retreats without a word. The spaces you enter begin to harmonize with you. That's why doors will open where none existed. Why favor will meet you in unexpected places. You are walking as one whose name has been rewritten in the language of destiny, as spoken in the book of Micah, chapter 7, verse 8. Though I have fallen, I will rise. Though I sit in darkness, the Lord will be my light. These words belong to every soul that has endured and emerged brighter. They remind you that the shift is not about avoiding the fall, it's about rising with purpose after it. But light doesn't exist for itself. It shines so others can see. That is why your story matters. not because it glorifies your pain, but because it reveals how mercy restores. When you share what you've learned, you become a living lantern, guiding others through their own nights. Click the heart, or like this message, as if you were placing another flame in the lantern. Each act of acknowledgement is not about numbers, it's about resonance, one soul answering another with silent agreement. Yes, I see the light too. Share this message like you would hand someone a torch in a dark tunnel. There are people wandering who don't even know. They're waiting for confirmation. Your one small act could be the spark that wakes another soul from spiritual sleep. And if this word has met you in a deep place, if you feel peace rising where fear once lived, subscribe so that light keeps finding you. Think of subscription not as signing up for information, but as returning to a well that never runs dry. Every new message becomes another sip of water for your spirit. A steady reminder that heaven hasn't gone silent. For some, there will be a nudge, even gentler, yet deeper. You'll feel it in your chest, like a quiet pull towards generosity. To donate is not to pay, it is to plant. Think of this message as a field of light. Each seed you sow keeps that field alive, ensuring that more wanderers can see the way home. Your gift, no matter its size, becomes a ripple that travels farther than you can imagine. It fuels the unseen recordings, words, moments that will reach someone who needs to hear, "You are not forgotten." Donating is like adding oil to the lamp that guided you. It lets the flame burn longer, brighter, farther. There is no demand here, no pressure, no transaction. Let it be a conversation between your spirit and heaven. Give only if peace follows the thought. If your heart stills and warmth flows through you, that's your confirmation. That's not persuasion, that's presence. Remember how heaven called your name at 3:33. That whisper was not meant for you alone. It was a baton, handed to you in light, asking you to keep the flame moving. Each gesture you're reading, you're sharing, your giving is the continuation of that sacred relay. You are part of the great unfolding, a living bridge between what was promised and what will be fulfilled. Every act of kindness, every moment of generosity, every spark of obedience widens that bridge until entire generations can cross. So walk with open hands and steady heart. You don't owe heaven anything. You are simply invited to participate in its beauty. When you give, when you share, when you light the path for another, you are saying, "I remember the night I was found, and I want someone else to feel the same dawn." That is how the shift continues. Not through obligation, but through overflow. What has filled you begins to pour through you, and light finds new faces, new names, new awakenings. You are the evidence that transformation is real, that heaven's whispers still move through human hearts. Let your life be the message now, the living proof that the atmosphere truly does shift when one soul decides to shine. As the light begins to grow stronger within you, separation becomes inevitable. The shift you prayed for will always bring both elevation and departure. There is a season when heaven starts to remove what can no longer go where you're headed. It's not cruelty, it's clarity. The higher you rise, the fewer weights you can carry. At first, this separation feels painful. You look at familiar faces and realize the connection has changed. Conversations that once felt alive now echo with emptiness. The laughter is still there, but the meaning isn't. You are no longer who you were when those bonds were formed. Heaven has redefined you, and everything misaligned begins to fall away. You might wonder if you did something wrong, if you were too distant or too different. But this is not punishment, it's pruning. The gardener of souls cuts only what would hinder future growth. When certain friendships, jobs, or patterns fall away, it's because your roots are going deeper. Pruning feels like loss, but it's actually multiplication in disguise. As recorded in the Gospel of John, chapter 15, verse 2, "Every branch that bears fruit he prunes, that it may bear more fruit." These words are both gentle and fierce. Heaven does not remove to reduce, it removes to refine. You are being sculpted by divine hands, shaped into someone who can carry greater weight of purpose. This season of separation teaches you to distinguish between attachment and assignment. Attachments are emotional, assignments are divine. The first keeps you comfortable, the second keeps you growing. When heaven starts shifting people and places out of your path, it's because your assignment has changed. You've completed the chapter where those connections made sense. Some of those who leave will do so quietly, almost without explanation. Others may resist your change, trying to pull you back into old patterns. Don't fight them. Bless them. They're not enemies. They're simply not meant for the next stretch of your journey. Some lessons can only be learned in solitude, and some peace can only be found after letting go. Heaven never subtracts without intention. Every exit creates space for divine replacements, connections rooted in alignment rather than convenience. The people coming into your life next will not need to be convinced of your calling. They will recognize it instantly because their purpose will harmonize with yours. These are kingdom alignments, relationships built on assignment rather than approval. When separation begins, you may also notice your interests shifting. Old desires fade, new ones awaken. You'll crave quiet over noise, authenticity over attention, depth over distraction. What once entertained you will now drain you. Don't resist this change. It's the maturing of your spirit. Heaven is calling you into environments that nurture your growth, not stifle it. The ache you feel is sacred. It is the sound of your old self breaking away from the new. Sometimes you will mourn what you've outgrown, and that's okay. Even good change carries grief. But grief is not regression, it's release. You are not losing your world. You are trading it for one that matches your purpose. There will be days when you feel alone, standing between what was and what will be. Remember, this is the bridge of becoming. Every chosen one must cross it. It is the narrow road where your character catches up with your calling. You will learn to walk by trust, not validation, and find joy in being unseen because you know heaven sees everything. In time, you will look back on this season and see its necessity. You will understand that separation was protection. The very things that left made room for peace, for clarity, for strength you didn't know you had. The pruning was never about punishment, it was preparation for abundance. So breathe deeply and let the falling away continue. You are not losing people, you are shedding layers. What remains after this season will be pure, loyal, and lasting. The noise will fade, but what is meant for you will stay, strengthened by purpose and sealed by heaven's design. You are stepping into a smaller circle, but a greater purpose. The ones who remain will not compete with your light, they will add to it. Together, you will move in harmony with the divine rhythm that began at 3, 3:33 a.m. And when you look around, you will realize that what stayed was not random, it was chosen. Just like you, every ending carries the seed of a new beginning. Do not chase what has departed, nurture what remains. The emptiness you feel today will soon become sacred space where divine connections and unshakable peace will take root and flourish. Sometimes heaven sends confirmation so clear that even doubt must fall silent. After the season of pruning, signs begin to appear again, gentle, familiar, and strangely precise. You start noticing patterns in your days that feel orchestrated, a repeated phrase, an unexpected meeting, a sudden inner calm in the middle of chaos. These are not coincidences, they are divine confirmations that the promise still stands. Heaven has a way of reassuring the obedient heart. When God moves quietly, He compensates with clarity. And right now, clarity surrounds you. The same presence that spoke your name at 3:33 a.m. has not withdrawn. It's simply communicating in a different form. You're not in delay, you're in demonstration. Heaven is proving that every step of obedience opens new layers of revelation, as was written in the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 31, verse 8. The Lord Himself goes before you and will be with you. He will never leave you nor forsake you. This is not merely comfort, it's confirmation. The road may twist, but the destination is secure. The divine has gone ahead to prepare every path you'll soon walk upon. In this phase, small details become sacred messages. A song you randomly hear carries the same phrase you prayed last night. A stranger's kindness answers a question you never voiced aloud. Even nature begins to mirror your inner state, the sky brighter, the wind softer, the world, somehow, speaking your language. Heaven is conversing with you through everything it created. Confirmation is not always dramatic. Often it's intimate. God rarely repeats Himself loudly. Instead, He layers His affirmations in subtle harmony, expecting you to listen beyond the noise. Every repetition is Heaven's way of saying, yes, keep going. You're aligned. It's important now to record what you sense. Write down the moments that feel charged with divine presence. They will serve as anchors when doubt tries to return. The human mind forgets, but written testimony keeps memory alive. Your journal becomes a map of faith, proof that heaven truly walked with you through the in-between. Chosen one, do not dismiss these confirmations as coincidence. You have reached the point where heaven trusts you with delicate signs. They are small enough to be missed by casual eyes, but clear enough for a listening heart. To the unawakened, it's random. To you, it's revelation. You might also notice timing aligning in ways that seem impossible. Missed opportunities suddenly reappear. Delayed outcomes accelerate. Closed doors open with no explanation. That is heaven's signature move, restoring what seemed lost, just to prove that surrender never ends in lack. The key is to remain humble in awareness. Signs are not the goal, they are guideposts. Don't worship the confirmation, worship the one who sent it. The moment you start seeking signs instead of presence, the clarity will fade. But when your focus stays on the source, every sign will multiply. Comment the number 999 below. 9 is the number of completion, the symbol of promises fulfilled. When you write it, do it as a statement of faith, not that everything is perfect, but that the process is finishing its purpose. You're declaring that what began in fire and silence is now reaching fruition. 999 is heaven's punctuation mark. It means the chapter of waiting closes, and the page of manifestation begins. This comment is not a superstition, it's agreement. You are saying, I see the confirmation, and I choose to complete what heaven began. It is the act of standing at the end of one cycle and blessing it, so that the next can unfold without residue. Look around you. Can you feel how stillness has become strength? The things that once frightened you no longer hold power. You've learned to recognize God in delay, to hear Him in silence, to see Him in small miracles. You've become fluent in heaven's language. And now, the signs aren't just for you, they're through you. Others will begin to feel peace when they stand near you, even if they can't explain why. You've become the living confirmation of everything you once doubted, that God remembers, that timing is perfect, that nothing surrendered is ever wasted. Hold this peace close. The number you've written, the faith you've spoken, and the signs surrounding you are all saying the same thing. It is finished. It is fulfilled. It is time. Comment the number 999 below. Write it slowly, intentionally, as though your fingers are signing a covenant with heaven. When you type it, you affirm completion. Heaven sees it not as digits, but as devotion, a declaration that you trust divine timing and release control with peace. This simple act becomes your seal of surrender, your way of whispering back to heaven, it is done, and I am ready. In that agreement, the cycle closes, and new beginnings quietly awaken beneath your feet. Something powerful happens after confirmation. It is the mantle. When heaven verifies your identity, it also clothes you in responsibility. This mantle is not a robe of ease, it is a covering of authority. It feels weighty because it carries purpose. You begin to sense it in the way your words hold more gravity. Your prayers stir deeper movement, and your presence brings quiet conviction. You are not the same as before. Receiving a mantle is both an honor and a summons. It's heaven's way of saying, you've passed the test of trust. You have been found faithful in the hidden places, and now what was unseen will begin to manifest outwardly. The mantle is not something you put on, it's something that reveals itself through you. At first, it may feel strange. You will notice people responding differently, not because you are louder or more visible, but because the atmosphere around you has changed. Heaven's authority carries an invisible fragrance. It lingers long after you leave a room. That's the evidence of the mantle. As the apostle reminds us in his second letter to the Corinthians, chapter 3, verse 5. Not that we are competent in ourselves to claim anything for ourselves, but our competence comes from God. The mantle is not about self-confidence, it's about divine competence. It reminds you that every word you speak carries heaven's backing when it aligns with truth. This new phase will test your humility. The same grace that elevates also refines. Heaven promotes only those who remember the source of their strength. The mantle is both a gift and a guard. It protects you from pride while empowering you to stand boldly. You may find that your prayers sound different now. They carry weight. When you intercede for others, peace begins to fall. Hearts soften, and chaos retreats. That's not emotion, that's authority. You are no longer merely speaking to heaven, you are speaking with heaven. Angels recognize that resonance. They move when they hear it. The mantle also brings a new level of responsibility. Every word, thought, and choice now shapes not only your path, but those attached to your assignment. People will draw strength from your stability. Your obedience will ignite obedience in others. That is how spiritual authority multiplies. It reproduces faith wherever it's released. Still, the weight of purpose can feel heavy. There will be moments when you question your readiness, when the cost of leadership feels too high. Remember, God does not call the prepared. He prepares the called. You were chosen not because of perfection, but because of surrender. Heaven saw your yes and decided it was enough. Sometimes, the mantle will isolate you again, not for punishment, but for preservation. Authority cannot dwell in noise. It grows in stillness. There will be days when you feel misunderstood, even by those who love you. That is part of the process. Those who carry heaven's voice must learn the language of solitude. The presence of the mantle does not mean the absence of warfare. In fact, it often draws greater resistance. Darkness recognizes when a vessel has been empowered, but you will not be overpowered. The mantle carries its own defense, divine favor that shields without shouting, wisdom that wins without striving. You will begin to sense an inner boldness, a quiet courage that doesn't need validation. The same confidence that rested on prophets and leaders of old now breathes through you when you speak truth. It will pierce through confusion. When you walk into chaos, order will begin to settle. That's what happens when heaven's authority flows through human form. This is why your journey had to be so long, why the refining so intense, why the silence so prolonged. Heaven doesn't place mantles on untested hearts. Every delay, every tear, every moment of uncertainty shaped you into a vessel that can carry this weight without collapsing. Now, as you move forward, walk gently but firmly. You don't need to announce the mantle. It announces itself. You don't need to prove anointing. Anointing proves itself through fruit. The most powerful evidence of divine authority is peace. Peace that transforms. Peace that conquers. Peace that heals without explanation. You are no longer just a recipient of revelation. You are its carrier. The mantle of power rests on you, not as decoration, but as destiny. Wear it with humility. Walk with reverence. And remember, the same voice that once whispered your name at 3:33 now speaks through you. You are no longer the one being called. You are the one heaven calls through. There comes a sacred moment after you receive the mantle when heaven begins to crown you. The crowning is not about gold or display. It is about recognition. It is the visible sign of inward sovereignty, the acknowledgement that the chosen one has become aligned with divine will. The crown is not a trophy, it is a testimony. It tells every realm, seen and unseen, that you have passed through trial, fire, and silence, and have emerged trustworthy. This crowning happens quietly. There are no crowds, no ceremonies. It takes place in the still space between you and God, where no applause can reach. You feel it as weight and wonder at once, a holy heaviness resting on your head, like a blessing poured out in light. Heaven crowns not the proud, but the proven, those who remained faithful when no one was watching. In the book of James, chapter 1, verse 12, it is written, "Blessed is the one who perseveres under trial, because, having stood the test, that person will receive the crown of life that the Lord has promised to those who love him." The crown of life is not given for perfection, but for perseverance. It's heaven's way of saying, "You endured, and now you reign over what once ruled you." When the crown is placed, something in the spirit realm shifts. Authority that was once borrowed becomes permanent. You no longer speak from longing, you speak from fulfillment. The very fears that once chased you now bow before you. You begin to walk differently, not in arrogance, but in assurance. There's a calm in your step, a peace in your presence, because you know who sent you. The crowning transforms perception. Those who once doubted your strength will now sense something unexplainable. It's not that you demand respect, it's that respect naturally recognizes you. Heaven's favor becomes visible in subtle ways. Doors open without explanation. Words carry weight without force. And even opposition begins to lose its sting. But the crown is not just honor, it's responsibility. Crowns are made of burden as much as beauty. They remind you that true leadership is service, and true greatness is humility. To be crowned by heaven means to carry others in prayer, to lift the weary, to speak for the voiceless. The crown bends toward compassion. It compels you to love deeper, forgive faster, and lead with grace. You will notice that life begins to mirror the dignity of your spirit. Where once chaos followed, now peace precedes you. The environment bends toward harmony because you are walking in alignment with divine order. This is not coincidence, it is kingship in motion. Heaven's government now flows through your obedience. Still, wearing a crown is not always comfortable. It presses against the places where pride could grow. It reminds you that authority without humility collapses. That's why heaven keeps you anchored in gratitude. Every victory becomes a prayer. Every success, an offering. You don't own the crown, you steward it. Sometimes the crown will feel heavy, and you'll long for the simplicity of the wilderness again. But remember, the crown was never meant to make life easier. It was meant to make your purpose clearer. It represents mastery over old fears, dominion over chaos, and peace in the place of pain. The crown declares that your identity is complete. You are no longer surviving. You are reigning. There will be moments when heaven tests the crown through service. You'll be asked to lead quietly, to choose mercy when judgment would be easier, to speak blessings over those who once broke you. That's how the crown shines brightest, in humility, not display. As you continue walking in this season, you will begin to sense the merging of heaven and earth in your steps. The crown makes you a bridge, a living connection between divine order and human need. You carry the fragrance of redemption, the essence of peace. You no longer just reflect the kingdom, you represent it. So stand tall, not in pride, but in purpose. Let the invisible crown remind you that the story of pain has become a prophecy of power. The same angels who spoke your name at 3:33 now bow as witnesses. The journey that once seemed endless has reached this quiet coronation, and though the world may not see it, heaven knows. You wear the mark of one who has overcome. The heavens have recorded your victory in light. Every scar now gleams like a jewel. Every tear transformed into proof that grace always finishes what it begins. Walk forward, crowned, yet humble. The same power that raised you also sustains you. Wherever you go, peace will recognize you before you speak. When a crown rests upon a chosen life, heaven never leaves it hidden for long. Light longs to travel, to multiply itself, in other hearts. This is why the voice that once whispered only to you will now begin to echo through you. The call to nations does not always sound like a trumpet. Sometimes it sounds like a steady heartbeat, urging you to share what healed you. Your story is no longer just yours. It has become a seed, and seeds are never meant to stay buried. Every revelation, every word, every moment you've endured was preparing you for this to carry light outward. You are now a messenger of awakening. The way you speak, the way you live, even the quiet kindness in your gestures, all of it is ministry. You do not need a stage. Your existence has become the message. Heaven never anoints one to be silent. When grace crowns you, it also commissions you. The same presence that spoke your name at 3:33 a.m. now releases you to speak to others, still lost in their midnight hour. You carry an assignment to remind the forgotten that they are still seen, to whisper peace into chaos, to announce that heaven still remembers. As written in the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2, verse 14, "For the earth will be filled with the knowledge of the glory of the Lord, as the waters cover the sea." This is why your light must travel. The flame you carry was never meant for containment. It was meant to flow, to reach, to fill every empty shore with glory. So when you feel the nudge to act, don't resist it. Click the heart or like this message as though you are lighting a single candle in a vast cathedral. It's a small gesture, but even a single flame pushes back an ocean of shadow. Share this message as one who passes a flame from torch to torch. Somewhere out there, another soul waits in silence, wondering if heaven has forgotten them. Your act of sharing might be the bridge between despair and awakening. If this word has touched you deeply, comment a few heartfelt words below. Write as if you were carving hope into stone. Your words may become the echo someone else needs to read at 3:33 a.m. Heaven often speaks through those who dare to speak healing first. And if these words have met you in a season of stillness, subscribe as if you are opening a window to let more light in. Each message that reaches you afterward will feel like morning sun creeping across the floor, a reminder that the night always ends. There's also a gentler invitation, one that moves from the heart. To donate is not obligation, it is echo. Think of these words as ripples on water. Each contribution is a pebble of gratitude, widening the circle so more hearts can feel the current. Giving is like adding honey to tea. It sweetens what already exists. Not for yourself alone, but for those who will sip after you. No pressure follows this invitation. Heaven never trades in demands. Give only if your peace smiles at the thought. When the act of giving feels like breathing, that's how you know it's real. The offering itself becomes worship, not to a person, but to the presence that first healed you. You are not called to preach loudly, but to live brightly. The call to nations begins in one life transformed, multiplied by compassion. Every gesture, your kindness, your generosity, your courage becomes a sermon written in motion. Heaven moves through the quiet faith of ordinary people who dare to keep believing. So keep walking, luminous one. Keep carrying the light that found you. Like, share, comment, subscribe, or give only as your heart leads you, freely and beautifully. Every small act born of sincerity becomes sacred. Together, they form the unseen chorus of souls saying, "Let there be light again." Your voice now joins that chorus, and heaven listens, smiling, as its light spreads from heart to heart, one willing soul at a time. Every ripple of kindness returns, multiplied. The words you share today may find a stranger tomorrow, lighting a spark that leads them home. That is how eternity circulates through hearts willing to give light away. The heavens record not the size of your actions, but the sincerity within them. Every quiet offering, every whispered prayer becomes part of the melody heaven hums over the earth. Walk gently, radiant one. The same light that found you now travels through your footsteps, wherever you go. May peace unfold like dawn following your shadow. There is a moment after every calling, after every crowning, when life begins to overflow. The season of struggle gives way to abundance, not sudden riches or worldly glory, but a steady, sacred flow of divine provision. This is the era of overflow. It is not the result of striving, it is the natural outcome of alignment. When heaven's rhythm and your obedience finally move in unison, everything multiplies. Overflow is not only about what you receive, it's about what you release. It's a river that begins within and moves outward. Peace flows through your words. Grace spills into your surroundings. People encounter you and feel lighter without knowing why. That's how heaven's abundance works. It fills you to pour through you. You've spent years sowing seeds you couldn't see growing. Every tear, every prayer, every act of faith has been a seed in divine soil. Now the field begins to respond. The same ground that once seemed barren suddenly blooms with color. The same situations that once resisted you now yield easily. It's not luck, it's harvest. As spoken in the book of Joel, chapter 2, verse 26, you will have plenty to eat until you are full, and you will praise the name of the Lord your God, who has worked wonders for you. These words speak not just of provision, but of satisfaction, of a fullness that cannot be manufactured, only bestowed. That fullness is approaching. You may notice how peace has replaced panic. Where you used to worry, you now wait quietly. Where you once felt scarcity, gratitude now lives. Overflow begins in that mindset. It's the shift from asking, "What do I lack?" to recognizing, "I already have enough to share." The moment your spirit adopts gratitude, heaven increases capacity. Abundance is a posture, not a possession. It's the ability to see miracles in mundane things, the food on your table, the roof over your head, the breath that keeps returning even after tears. Gratitude expands your vessel so heaven can pour more without it breaking. This season may not come with loud announcements. Overflow often arrives in subtle ways, an opportunity that fits perfectly, favor that finds you without chasing, timing that finally feels effortless. It is the relief that comes when you realize you no longer need to force what flows naturally. Yet, even in abundance, humility remains your anchor. Heaven's favor is meant to be shared, not stored. The purpose of overflow is movement. What comes to you must move through you. Every blessing becomes a current, carrying hope into dry places. You become the vessel through which heaven waters the earth. Be mindful, too, that overflow will attract attention. Some will celebrate your peace, others may envy it. Stay grounded in grace. Don't explain. Don't defend. Just continue to flow. Rivers don't justify their existence. They simply run their course. This era also brings restoration. What was taken unjustly will return in unexpected forms. What was broken will mend so seamlessly that scars become symbols of beauty. Even relationships that ended painfully may find closure through compassion. Heaven restores not by returning things exactly as they were, but by returning what was lost in better form. The same patience that carried you through drought will now carry you through abundance. Do not rush this flow. Learn to handle increase with the same grace you handled delay. The key to sustaining overflow is stewardship, knowing how to give without fear, how to rest without guilt, and how to receive without pride. In the quiet hours, you'll sense the difference between overflow and excess. Excess clutters, overflow cleanses. It moves freely, blessing everything it touches and leaving no residue of greed or guilt. Heaven's abundance never weighs you down, it lifts you higher. Look around and notice the colors seem brighter, the air gentler, your own thoughts kinder. These are signs that the kingdom within you has expanded. Heaven has chosen to dwell in your atmosphere. The same light that once guided you through the storm now flows through your hands, through your words, through your very presence. You have stepped into the current of divine rhythm. You no longer strain to create. Creation happens through you. The era of overflow is not a reward, it is a reflection. You have become aligned with the heart of heaven, and everything around you mirrors that harmony. So breathe deeply. The river runs strong now, and you are part of it. You are not chasing blessing. Blessing is flowing through you into the world that still thirsts for light. Let the current carry you gently. What overflows from you now will water futures you cannot yet see, turning tomorrow's deserts into gardens. When the river of overflow settles, a stillness follows, not emptiness, but completion. It is the sacred calm that comes after the storm, the peace that arrives when every promise has found its place. This is the moment of commission, the final chapter of awakening. Heaven has finished its work in private. Now it begins its work through you. The eternal commission is not about perfection or position. It is about presence. It means walking through the world as living evidence that God's light still chooses human form. You are no longer merely a recipient of revelation, you are its reflection. Every step you take, every breath you release, carries fragments of divine intention. The angels who once whispered your name at 3:33 a.m. now walk beside you, watching as destiny unfolds through your obedience. This is where calling becomes covenant. You have moved beyond hearing the message. Now you are becoming it. The eternal commission is not an instruction shouted from the heavens. It is a steady current moving through your life, guiding you into every place where light is needed. You will begin to notice how life itself becomes ministry. Simple conversations turn into healing encounters. Your words, spoken without effort, begin to unlock peace in others. People may not know why they feel lighter around you, but heaven knows it's because you carry the residue of divine presence. As written in the Gospel of John, chapter 17, verse 18, "As you sent me into the world, I have sent them into the world." These words carry timeless power. They remind you that being chosen was never for isolation, it was for impact. You were not called to hide light, but to release it where darkness still lingers. In the commission, purpose and peace become one. You no longer question where you belong. You simply know, The uncertainty that once tormented you dissolves into quiet confidence. There is no need to rush, no need to prove. You have become the message you once waited for. This realization brings both humility and awe. You understand now that every season, the wilderness, the refining, the silence was not wasted. Each chapter prepared a facet of your identity for this final expression. The trials taught endurance, the fire revealed authenticity, the silence trained discernment. Everything you endured was sacred rehearsal for this commission. You may feel a gentle restlessness again, not the anxiety of delay, but the anticipation of movement. That's the call of purpose, expanding its reach. You will sense new ideas forming, new doors opening, new people crossing your path. All of it flows from divine timing. Heaven no longer moves ahead of you or behind you, it moves with you. But even now, the eternal commission remains a balance of power and peace. Authority without compassion turns to pride. Compassion without authority turns to weariness. You are called to carry both, to lead with tenderness, to speak truth with grace, to move mountains with mercy. At times, the weight of this call may feel overwhelming, but remember, the one who sent you walks with you. Every divine commission includes divine companionship. You will never again stand alone, because the presence that guided you through every trial now dwells within you permanently. There will come days when the world feels heavy again, when injustice and chaos roar loudly. In those moments, look inward. The same light that broke darkness at 3:33 still burns unquenched within you. You are not here to fix everything. You are here to represent hope, to remind the earth that redemption is still possible. This is your holy rhythm now, to walk gently, to speak with wisdom, to carry love that costs you nothing, yet gives everything. The commission is not a task list, it is a way of being. You are heaven's ambassador, clothed in human form. A reminder that light can dwell in flesh and still remain pure. You have been written into the story that never ends. Every day you rise is another verse added to heaven's song of restoration. You are the continuation of every promise, the evidence that what God begins, He completes. Stand still for a moment and feel the peace within you. That stillness is heaven's signature, the seal of completion upon your journey. You have been refined, crowned, and released. You carry eternity within you now. Go forth in quiet strength. Let your life be prayer, your voice be light, your footsteps be prophecy. The eternal commission is not something you perform, it is something you become. The heavens rejoice in your yes. Every step you take from here writes new constellations of grace across the dark canvas of human hearts. Walk freely. Radiant one, you are both message and messenger, carrying eternity in your pulse, proof that heaven's story still breathes through willing souls. You have reached the edge of the story, yet nothing truly ends here. The journey that began at 3:33 a.m. was never only about revelation, it was about rebirth. You stand now as living proof that light can find anyone, anywhere, and make them new. If these words have walked beside you, let them keep walking through the world. Click the heart, or like this message, as if you were setting one last lantern on the river, watching it drift to carry peace farther than your hands can reach. Share this message like a traveler, leaving footprints of light on the road. Somewhere, someone still waits in the dark for a sign that hope is real. Your single act of sharing may become the spark that opens another heart to dawn. Comment beneath these words, not for attention, but as a ripple in eternity. Write what you felt, what you found, what you are choosing. Your voice may become the echo that steadies another soul tonight. And if you wish to stay near the flame, subscribe as though you were opening a window toward sunrise. Each future message will be another breath of morning, a soft reminder that heaven never stops speaking to those who listen. Finally, if your heart feels a quiet tug, give not from duty, but from delight. A donation is like adding one drop of oil to the lamp that warmed you. It keeps the flame alive for others who still wander cold. Give only if peace nods yes inside you. Then your offering becomes worship without words. So now, luminous one, step back into your world. Carry this light gently. Share it freely. And remember, you are no longer searching for the voice of heaven. You have become it.